Hello and welcome back to the one and only Road to Doomsday, the Nerd Academy or the MCU Rewatch show brought to you by the Nerd Academy podcast, except no substitute. I am your host, Jared Buckman Subs, and joining me as always on the Road to Doomsday is the lovely Miss Taylor.
Hello. Yeah, I honestly I just have to say again, I love that intro. I love how good it looks and I love how unique it is, honestly.
Indeed. But we are not alone. We are here. Our special guest will be joining us here in a moment. We are talking Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. This is the last episode we are recording in the year of our Lord 2025.
Yes.
For those of you at home keeping track. Making
The
them,
tree
I
yeah,
think,
the tree's still here, so
yeah, the tree's still up. I think we're approaching the halfway point of phase 3, which means the point in time where we're doing this show is going to get a
well,
little
okay.
unruly is almost upon us.
Yeah.
But we shall see on that one. But as I said, we are not alone. We are joined by a dear friend of the show, host of Star Wars in a Galaxy, and commissioner of Epic Confrontations, Eli.
I was checking just to make sure. I was just looked up Phase 3 MCU. You guys are nowhere close to the halfway point of Phase 3.
What is the
start
halfway
it.
point?
I don't know. There are like 10 movies in this phase. I think technically the halfway point probably would technically, ironically, be Infinity War.
Oh.
Boy.
Either Black Panther or Infinity War, or like maybe it's like right between there.
Okay. Oh, we're not too
So,
far
like,
away. We got a couple movies ago. Like I said, we're nearing
Yeah.
the halfway point. We're nearing it.
Yeah, nearing
But-
the halfway point. But hey everyone, your unofficial Guardians correspondent is here. I'm hoping that my MCU watch of my own is going to speed up fast enough so that by the time y'all get to 3, I will have seen it and can talk about how undoubtedly great it is.
Yes, I'm excited to have you on for that. It's fun because, like, obviously, I'm sure you have an inkling as to where it's going because
Yeah.
spoilers
I-
abound.
I was on the internet when that movie came out. I know a lot of the things about Rocket and the High Evolutionary. I know like the building blocks of the movie. I have no idea how the plot goes or anything like that.
Yeah, broad strokes, not details. Well, I'm excited for you to get to it, and I'm very excited to talk about it with you.
For us
Hopefully,
all to get to it together.
yes.
Yeah.
But before we jump into the meat and potatoes of it all, brief word from our sponsors over at Sunday's Bloody Mary. You guys know the drill by now. Sunday's Bloody Mary has the most badass Bloody Mary accoutrement in the multiverse with their 3-time award-winning spicy mix as well as their mild and traditional mixes if the spice isn't for you. This former bartender trusts only one Bloody Mary mix, and that is Sunday's. The only Bloody Mary mix better than a from-scratch Bloody. If you want to shake up your Bloody Mary game for the rest of your days, use the link in the description down below and use the code TNAP, TNAP at checkout to get 10% off your order and help out your favorite nerds while you do it. But you guys already know. Eli knows.
You already know.
It's time for some trivia.
Ooh, baby.
Yeah. I hope we do better than your teammate did.
Hope we do better than I do every week.
You've been doing well. You've been doing well, and I'm not even going to acknowledge Eli's slander. Question number 1. What secondary MCU villain cameos in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2? Eli, as our guest, I'll throw to you first.
Cameos. Huh. Wow. I'm trying to think of any. I mean, like, is it one of the pirates? Like, that's where my mind goes. It's one of the. It's not one. No, it's not, because that's the original Ligandu crew from the like. Yeah, no, that's not it. I don't wait. I'm trying to think like anything like. I mean, like that doesn't count because that's the only other place my mind goes, and that doesn't count because we don't actually see him. I know we see him in the next movie is Adam Warlock, but that doesn't count. And he's not a villain either way. So
Taylor,
is it the Grandmaster? Are you being?
It is Grandmaster.
Oh, it is. I
You're
saw this on the Wikipedia page, and then
big-
apparently, like I was looking at something else on the Wikipedia page for this earlier
He's
today.
in the credits.
Apparently, it wiped my memory just completely clean just before
He's
that.
in the credit. That's why it took me so long. Thank you, but it took me so long.
Yeah, I saw something on the
the
Wikipedia page that said like James was like, "Oh yeah, since the Collector and the Grandmaster are brothers, and we have the Grandmaster on screen now, with the upcoming Thor Ragnarok. It'd be cool to have them in the same franchise, sort of loosely. Yeah,
That's messed up.
that is messed up, especially
For
That's
question number 2, who voices the Ravager known as Mainframe? So to give you an idea as to whom I am talking about,
It's
this
the head.
is it's the robot head. It looks like a Cyberman from Doctor Who. Whenever Stallone is talking to Ving Rhames and Michelle Yeoh during one of the credit scenes,
I know it's not Keiko.
Oh, I think I saw this on the
Sorry.
Wikipedia. Is this the Miley Cyrus?
this is Miley Cyrus.
Okay,
Yes,
yeah.
that is
I,
Miley
I
Cyrus.
again saw
That's
this on Wikipedia like a
crazy.
few hours ago as I was looking for something. I don't even know what. Oh, I think yeah.
Question number 3. There's 5. Question number 3. What other Marvel film has David Hasselhoff appeared in? I need the full title.
Oh, I'm not giving that
Actually,
to you.
I think I know this. This is
Isn't it the Nick Fury?
It's Nick Fury, Agent of Shield, right?
Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. Before he was Sam Jackson.
There was a joke I made. I think I might have even made it to you when I saw Nick Fury's
BSJ.
white form in Spider-Man the Animated Series.
Yeah.
And it's a bit. It's
Jump
a
scare.
variation on John Mulaney's bit on Kid Gorgeous, where he says, "I don't like these new Nazis, and you can quote me on this."
Yes.
And I changed it to say, "I don't like this white Nick Fury, and you can quote me on this."
For our penultimate question, what music legend was originally supposed to be present as a Ravager at Yondu's funeral before they passed away in 2016?
Oh, I mean, this is a wait. Oh shit, there's 2 now.
I don't know.
Okay, Shot in the Dark. Shot in the Dark. I think this is what he's talking about. I don't know this, but I think I'm right. It's Bowie, isn't it?
It is David Bowie.
Oh,
Okay, I was going between him
cool.
and Prince.
Yeah, I was going to say, I phrased it that way because 2 music legends famously died in 2016.
Yeah. But also, like, they couldn't get Prince to do one of these. Come on.
No, fuck no.
Prince
Prince
wasn't
isn't
New Girl,
coming out of
though.
his weird Jehovah's Witness cave to
At
be in a
least-
Marvel
New Girl,
movie.
though.
At least Bowie was in what's that movie? He's in Prestige.
Yes.
That was far before this. Like, at least he had a history of doing movies that weren't like his own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Prince wasn't on New Girl, so whatever.
I did not know that, and that honestly, yeah, okay.
Checks out. It honestly checks out.
He guest starred as himself.
Okay, that's the only way you could do that, yeah.
And then for our last question, what kind of batteries does Rocket steal?
Okay, I was so
Harbulary
for this.
batteries.
No, it's Annulac batteries. Drax calls it Harbulary batteries. That's the joke.
Harbulary batteries.
I had both written to see who would say what first.
Harbulary
If you
Only
said
because-
Annulax, I was going to say Harbulary. If you said Harbulary, I was going to say Annulax.
One of my favorite jokes in this film, because it's just completely out of left field. Like, it's just like, there's so many instances of like, I can't believe I find this so funny, and yet I do.
We'll talk about the humor. But some quick background. After the smash success of Guardians of the Galaxy, Marvel and Disney were excited to see the franchise grow. James Gunn began work on Volume 2 shortly after the release of Volume 1, knowing that he wanted the next stories to explore both Rocket and Star-Lord's origins, but decided Peter Quill would have to take precedence.
Yeah.
Gunn had already mapped out his vision for Peter, adapting his comic roots as being descended from royalty in the comics, but expanded that to include Ego the Living Planet instead of just being the son of like an intergalactic emperor. To use Ego the Living Planet, a parlay was reached between Disney and 20th Century Fox.
Knew this. I love I've always visualized this in my head because like the conversations, even though it's about IP, have to be like some of the nerdiest ass conversations I've ever heard, like in the history of ever.
So because Ego is technically a Fantastic Four character and is in that pantheon, so he's under those rights. To be able to use Ego the Living Planet, Disney traded the rights to Negasonic Teenage Warhead to be used in Deadpool to Fox. So there's a very funny trade-off that happens.
Specifically, actually, I think I was looking at this. I think that's what I was going on the Guardians page for, because I knew about the deal. Because it's not actually Negasonic. I think because in the comics, apparently Negasonic had different powers.
Yeah.
Yes.
They just changed. They changed it. I think it was Cannonball.
Yeah.
They gave her Cannonball powers,
Pretty much.
and then after the movie, this is the funny part. After the movie, after Deadpool, and apparently the Marvel Comics writers looked around at the Negasonic portrayal in the movie, and they were like,
might as
well,
well.
this kind of actually works better.
It
Let's
happens
just
all the
do
time.
this instead.
Yep.
With minor characters like that, it happens all the time.
Even major characters. Batman did not have a grappling hook until like one of the many TV serials, stuff like that. But Guardians of the Galaxy had Volume 2 had a budget of $200 million and made nearly $1 billion at $869 million.
Wow.
So,
wowza.
Almost in the $1 billion club. Just under 150 mil away.
Close but no cigar.
Yeah, close but no cigar. But Eli, as our guest, I'll throw to you first. Where were you when you first saw Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2?
After this, we should throw to Jarod.
So
maybe not. Ooh.
So I didn't see this one. I was not a Marvel fan when this came out. The first exposure I had to this movie was a certain video from How It Should Have Ended. That was a parody within the film of Come a Little Bit Closer, but instead of the original lyrics to Come a Little Bit Closer, it's describing the events that happen while Come a Little Bit Closer plays in this movie.
Oh, it's doing a Will Smith joint.
So that's meta ass. But anyway, when my friend and I, who introduced me to the MCU, watched this movie, it was one of the rare points where we were actually together in person when we watched this movie. And I remember specifically when that sequence, which I'm sure we'll talk about later, came on. I remember just banging the ground with my hand because I was like keeling over laughing so hard. And even now, like I watched it obviously for this a few days ago, and like a few hours ago, I just watched that sequence again because I genuinely believe that is the funniest sequence I've ever seen in Marvel. I genuinely believe that and of course we see the this as sort of a genesis in a way for the 5 years time fight with Mr. Terrific in Superman.
Yes.
A very similar energy, but as that is a oh my god, this guy is so badass fight. Like to it like a cheery little song, but it's really meant to show to form the inkling in your mind. So when he says hard, I'm goddamn Mr. Terrific later in the movie, you're like, yeah, he is goddamn Mr. Terrific.
Face much.
This is more of a this to me is more of a okay, let's play the most docile 50s song while bodies are flying.
Just wanton violence. Just wanton
violence. Just bodies are flying everywhere. With Yondu using the song as bait to get the Ravagers where he wants them before just brutally massacring all of them.
You mean my king?
Something about that ridiculous contrast is just the funniest thing ever to me.
You know what? I should have brought a guest. That's what I should have done. You know what? I'll be right back.
Okay.
Do you have any idea what she's doing?
Not the fucking faintest. I can hear her laughing. A maniacal, evil laugh. But no, I agree, and we'll talk more about it. I think the Come a Little Bit Closer Arrow Massacre might be my favorite scene in the entire Guardians trilogy. Like, it is so very much up there. We'll talk more about this in a moment. It is also kind of the marker where this movie goes from being okay to incredible for me. I have a lot of issues with the pacing and the comedy in like the first 30-40%. I hear her rustling through something and it's terrifying me. I have no idea what's happening. But
very much. Because I'd heard he made these criticisms of this movie before, and I hadn't noticed them the first time around. And I was like, let's see if I still think this film is better than the first one. And very much, like, I think it's a point of, like, I don't think you're wrong, even. I think it is a marker of my specific sensibilities towards media.
Yeah, it's totally
I
a taste
and
thing. It's totally a taste thing.
and specifically where I tend to actually think that, like, slightly flawed things with a powerful punch to them, to me, like, appeal even more sometimes than something that is consistently good. Something that ramps up, like, for example, like, this is the Drummond franchises here. Like, I understand that people have a ton of criticisms of the Rise of Skywalker, and I
Right.
have some little
No,
things
I'm
here
one
and
of them.
there, and I have some little things here and there
I
for the
came back
first.
just for that. Don't worry, guys. I
And
hear
people
all.
have and people have some, and I have some little criticisms of things here and there for the first two acts of that movie. I still really like it,
You
but
enjoy the mess.
the moment they get to Exegol, that film
Mm.
absolutely locks into me for me, and, like, whatever criticisms I have of that movie, like, completely fade away, because that from when they arrive on Exegol to Rey proclaiming her new name on Tatooine, that is just pure perfection. Where I probably think that Last Jedi is a more consistently good film than The Rise of Skywalker, but I like The
Right.
Rise of Skywalker more because it reaches the higher high for me. Same thing I think with Guardians and Guardians 2, honestly. Do I think that Guardians 1 is the more consistent film of the two? Yeah. But Guardians 2 consistently reaches higher highs, so I think I value it more.
That's fair. All right, Taylor, what mischief have you wrought on us?
I brought a guest.
Who's your guest?
It's my dad.
Oh my god.
I ain't
Oh my
touching this.
god.
I ain't touching this.
So me and Brian, this was so we loved, right? Love Guardians of the Galaxy 1, but unfortunately, this was the first Guardians of the Galaxy I couldn't see with him. Aw. But we watched it together tonight, technically, if you think about it. He was in the room. He's in a lot of the rooms. Our house is a little open concept in the living room. So we were watching it again tonight, and I cried the same way. I did almost the same way I did in the theater. I emotionally and already was from the first movie. I loved Yondu. I loved him. I think he had a dope power. Which is I guess an ability. It's fine, whatever. Tomato, tomato. But I thought he was such a cool character. I love Gamora, I love Drax, I love the other Guardians, but I loved Yondu, and unfortunately, this was you know, a movie I couldn't see with my own dad. But nevertheless, I absolutely love this film. It holds such a deep part in my heart. Um, and I have so much love for it, and I think inherently I can't find that many faults in it because of the deep love I have for it.
So, for context, before I say anything else, Guardians of the Galaxy 2 currently in my MCU ranking is number 5.
Oh, that's
Um,
not bad.
only,
I don't even know where
on-
it would be in mine, you know.
only bettered by Black Panther, No Way Home, and
Mm.
then Infinity War, and then at the top, Endgame.
Hell yeah.
Jared, what are your thoughts on Yondu Udanta?
Well,
What were
I
you
have
in this movie? No, where were
You
you in
wouldn't
this
let me
film,
do
Spencer?
this in the first one, and you want to save
No.
for the second one, and we need to
yeah,
have this
no,
goddamn
Eli earned this.
conversation.
Eli earned this. Well, here's what I will say. I have a complicated relationship with this movie.
Same.
Part of it
Probably
is
different complications though.
part
For
of it
sure.
part of it is to do with the filmmaking of it. Um, and we'll get into that a little bit more. We kind of briefly alluded to it while Taylor was getting her father. But
Yeah. That's a great visual gag, but you know.
audio listeners are missing out on.
Audio
But
listeners are not missing out because we immediately told them it was my father. But for those who haven't, for some reason, put it together as just an audio listener, my dad is very much dead, and he is in a box on the shelf now beside me, over my
so
shoulder, like an angel or a devil, depending on what you think.
so the other good God, the other complicated feeling I have about this movie is that I think Yondu Andanta is an absolute fucking scene stealer here and is the best part of the movie. I, for personal reasons that are not the admittedly funny story I'm about to tell, I do not like Michael Rooker as a person. Um, Not to tell tales out of school that are not my story to tell.
Or that are, but you shouldn't anyway.
Michael Rooker has a bit of a reputation for being weird at conventions, and when he was at our local convention the
Many moons
summer
ago.
before Guardians 2 came out, it is said on good authority he had a problem keeping his hands to himself
Oh,
with
okay.
specifically Harley Quinn cosplayers.
You
And
know, you like what you like sometimes.
please don't.
Unfortunately, you should always look and
I
don't
was
touch.
for the video listeners. I was not smirking at that because I did not know that. I was smirking at the thing Jared's going to say, which
Yes,
I am
is
just saying also to follow up on that comment.
which is although offensive, you have to admit, extraordinarily funny.
because it's incredibly surreal, and I've never told this story to anybody who doesn't not believe me for a second. But yeah, so like I don't care for Michael Rooker. I know people he has personally made uncomfortable, and I don't particularly care for him for that. If that's where the story ended, if the story I'm about to tell is where it ended, I would think he's the funniest person on the planet.
Yeah,
So
the first part of the story pretty bad. You know, always never touch.
yes,
Never touch another person.
don't
I
touch
will
another person.
say, even though I disagree, even though I will say I disagree with you that Yondu is the best part of this movie, it's not like who I think is the best part of the movie is much better, seeing that he just made an appearance at the Trump Kennedy Center. So
Oh no,
yeah,
who?
it was Kurt.
Oh, well,
Yeah,
that's.
yeah, it's not good.
Did Goldie have anything to say about it?
I have no idea. I have no idea, but yeah, he introduced, I think,
Somebody
Stallone.
call Goldie Hawn.
Well, so to tell the funnier Michael Rooker story, because I don't think I've ever actually told this story on air. I don't think I've ever.
Either.
I don't think I've told this story on air. So Steel City Con, summer of 2016, I want to say, may have been
It would
the
have had
winter
to have
convention.
been. I thought it would have had to have been the 2017.
No, because we wouldn't have gotten to. Maybe it was the spring 17, but I don't even think I made it to that show.
You know what? It's funny because I think the spring of 17 is when my roommate and I went because my dad couldn't go naturally because he was.
Naturally. But so he's doing his Q&A, and he's very funny. He
A real
does,
laugh riot.
and again, like this is also like we hear Michael Rooker, all of us here immediately think Guardians. He is also coming off the heels of his
Walking
character
Dead.
being killed off in Walking Dead.
Yep.
And Call of Duty Black Ops 2, where he played Harper. So like everybody in the crowd is asking basically a mix of Guardians, Call of Duty, Walking Dead questions. And and every question he asked was he basically answered it with another question. Like there were children in the crowd who would be like, "Hi, Michael Rooker, what's your favorite food?" And he'd go, "What's your favorite food, kid?" And they'd go, "French fries." And he goes, "I love French fries." Like it wasn't quite as chaotic as, I know I've told this story, the Ray Park I Swear I've Not Been Drinking, where he was visibly coked out of his mind. But but like it was all this rip roaring stuff, and I'm up to ask a question. And the question I was going to ask was, because Yondu is such an obscure character, it kind of gives you kind of free reign to bring the character to life however you'd want. So, did you prepare for the role by reading up on Yondu's appearances in older comics, or did you just kind of do your own thing and kind of follow James Gunn's vibes? I get to the word obscure character, and Michael Rooker physically rips the microphone out of my hand
I forgot that part of the story.
and go because the mic. Sorry, I slapped my mic just now. Because the microphone is getting passed around the room,
Okay.
and he's standing right in front of me. Like Michael Rooker was as close to me as the Captain America shield is right now, and he rips out of my hand, and he goes, "Obscure character, obscure character. You're telling me that Yandu Undanta is an obscure character? Are you mentally a word we don't use in polite society anymore? That starts with an
Well,
R." And the crowd loses their shit laughing. And I am like, I just got called the R slur by fucking Yondu at Steel City Comic Con. My father is laughing about it.
Yeah,
Um,
I know Ethan was absolutely knee slapping right now.
like my dad's laughing his
Ethan was
ass
like,
off.
ah! Ethan would have done the same thing my dad would have done, which is absolutely cackle.
lose
My
his
my
mind.
dad's losing his shit. My brother's losing his shit. Spencer and Joel are losing their shit. I look down like the row of seats. I see my one buddy Jimmy, who's like who goes to every single convention in the area. He's like, he doesn't know whether to shit his pants or wind his watch. He's like, what? He's having the same reaction I am. I'm like, this is just surreal. Yondu just called Jarod the R word, and he goes, and he just keeps riffing on me saying obscure character. And he goes, I
And the
can't
best part
believe you
about
say something like that. And
and the
he
best
goes,
part about it, if that word were more accepted in our society, would you blink for a second if Yondu said that in one of the Guardians
no,
movies? No, of course you wouldn't.
I'm surprised he didn't. I'm sure there's a take where instead of, hey, jackass, when he drops the ship on Ego, there's footage of Michael Rooker going, hey, oh, and then drops the ship on him. But when I began to speak, I said I had two questions.
Or a litany of other slurs and bad words.
So I
Hey, mother.
began by saying I had two questions. He hits me with that, and he goes, "Now, boy, what's your other question?" And he doesn't even give me the microphone back. He just sticks it in my face. He just sticks the mic back in my face.
Oh, Jared, I am so sorry. I would have been sitting there like,
listen, this is why I'm good on the mic in epic confrontations, is because I could have somebody say some absolutely heinous shit to me with a room full of people and shrug it off. I saw it change that time. But he goes, now, boy, what's your other question? And he shoves the microphone back in my face, almost hits me in the head with it. And I go, what can we expect from Yondu in Volume 2? And again, like the comedic timing of this is so good because I barely finish the sentence. I barely get to Volume 2. And go, Volume 2 rips the microphone back and goes, I'm blue, next question.
oh, that would have, everybody's losing their mind.
And
everybody's losing their mind in this.
I got the Yondu autograph not 20 minutes before. I was the last person at his table before the Q&A.
Oh, mama.
Just absolutely surreal experience. And I remember, so where was I when I saw the movie? Sorry for the long tangent there.
Almost as surreal as that one time at Star Wars Celebration where blank met up with blank and did blank anyway.
But I remember, so the movie came out the weekend of my prom. And I remember there just being something, I don't have a good word for it, but kind of peculiar in the air for me. Because I was Well, everybody around me was like, "Woo woo!" We're almost done with school. Blah blah blah. It's a big celebration. Um, I was just so afraid. I was just so overcome with like, oh, my whole world's about to change. Da, 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 da. Like all this structure is about to disappear. I don't know if I'm going to see my friends ever again after all this is said and done. And I'm freaking out. And I have, and I had a lot of mixed emotions. Some interpersonal stuff was in play, and I had the night of our prom a straight up mental breakdown in the bathroom. Um, Not to air anything out. Part of it was I was really upset with um, where my friendship with Spencer and Joel was. And there were some things at play there that I was deeply unhappy about that I like kept to myself for like years and finally just burst at the seams about. And I remember just coming unglued, sobbing in the bathroom, freaking out, yelling at Spencer. And this is such an important memory to me because by the time I was done, like he just looked at me and said, "I'm sorry I let you feel that way," and hugged me. And it was just this like very beautiful moment of, these are very big emotions and this is too much to like unpack at prom. So let's begin the conversation with, "I hear you and I'm sorry you're hurting." And by the time we get to Spencer's house after prom to hang out, because we're just going to go rip roaring all over town for the rest of the weekend, um, a huge weight came off my shoulders. And while everybody around me was starting to feel what I had been feeling, that like that dread of like high school is ending and oh my God, my whole life is about to change forever. Oh my God. Well, everybody's starting to feel that. I am having all of the feelings of like the journey's almost over. This is so cool. And it's all hitting me. And I felt like I was floating for the rest of that weekend. And I remember going into Guardians 2 with just so much joy and just like just an optimism I had never really felt before, and how powerful that was. And going in and like basically anybody who hadn't heard the story of Yondu and Danta calling me the R slur, they sure as shit heard that story on the way into the movie theater. And every time Yondu came on screen, our whole group of like 8 people went, "Hey Jared, there's your friend." And then I remember we went to the Applebee's near the theater after the movie, and
Triple. No, I'm joking.
Spencer and I were the only people sitting there who were like, "I don't think I liked that movie."
And I'm sitting there crying as I'm like pulling apart spinach dip and mozzarella sticks.
Yeah, Spencer and I had the
Oh,
same exact
with my
complaints.
$1, with my like $1 drinks.
Yeah, but yeah, like I said, I have a lot of complicated feelings about Guardians. Mostly just to do with the fact that I don't like Michael Rooker, but he plays maybe one of my favorite characters in the MCU, and his performance is so stellar, and he is such a scene stealer, and he is so much a part of the DNA of this movie.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Like that, like, and I only learned in the recent history that I was not the only person Michael Rooker was very uncouth with at Steel City Comic Con. So that is a more recent development for me, that I have an emotional complication with this movie, because I do find it challenging, because like I want to get excited for the Yondu moments that make me feel so many things, for how charismatic and hilarious his performance is. But I have those things in the back of my mind. We're like, "You're a fucking weirdo, though." So that kind of hampers it for me. So without any further ado, I do want to explain my issues with the movie to kind of get it out there and talk through it. I don't think that James Gunn has ever been embarrassed by genre. That's a conversation we have had on this channel on the road to Doomsday before, about the concept of we need to serious it up, we need to lampshade, we need to make up for the fact that this is so silly. I don't think James Gunn has ever truly felt that way or
Mm-hmm.
internalized that, or has put that in his art necessarily on purpose.
Maybe.
However, a lot of the humor in Guardians 2 in the first half, like the first half is where it is the most concentrated to me.
Yeah, it's really
basically
clunky.
everything before the prison break, there is this weird sense of like this need to explain the joke while the joke is being told, to almost lampshade itself in real time, and I don't fucking like that. And
Yeah.
so much of it comes down to the fact that within the first act, at least 2 or 3 times, there is an instance where Rocket and Star Lord are arguing, and somebody else has to go, "Are we really arguing about this right now?" And that there's an undercut, like there's moments where there is tension or emotional buildup or something happening that is really good. That the performances are incredible, and the pacing is great, and then it comes to a screeching halt because a joke feels the need to explain itself, you know and it it grates at me. It grates at
Yeah.
me so much that when I came out of the movie the first time, I legit was like, I think this might be the first Marvel movie I don't like, because I loved the back half of the movie, but that first half felt like a slog. And it's only been after rewatching it once before Guardians 3 came out, and then today, that some of that stuff is softening for me. But I think it's because I'm finally kind of getting numb to the fact that so many brilliant scenes have the wind just ripped out of their sails.
Yeah.
And granted, this is in the back half of the movie, it's in the third act, but the best encapsulation of this, to me, is Ego transforming into David Hasselhoff.
I was about to say, I thought you were going to go with the you should have used your sarcastic voice, and now I'm embarrassed.
That's the
Or
worst
now
one.
I feel foolish.
That is the worst one. That is probably the most unfunny line of dialogue in the movie. Because again, it's so it feels like the joke can't be funny unless you're explaining the joke, and it's so weird because Guardians 1, Guardians 3, fucking Infinity War, Endgame, none of the Guardians sound like that. None of the Guardians at any point feel like somebody else is writing these jokes and has this weird, almost pickle Rick, it's funny because I have to explain why it's funny shit going on.
I'm a
And
pickle.
I'm a pickle, But the David Hasselhoff thing is so affecting to me in a negative way, because so much of this movie is building towards, we as the audience can tell Ego is lying about something. Ego is leaving a crucial detail out of this story. We're not quite sure what, but this is too good to be true. And we're building to it, and we're building to it, and we see we see the veneer of this reverse prodigal son relationship
Mm-hmm.
kicking in, and this, oh, I just want to be the dad I never could. And I've spent your whole life looking for you, and I couldn't go back to Earth because Meredith dying broke my heart, and I would never dare step foot on an Earth that didn't have Meredith Quill on it. And that veneer is slowly melting as Ego lays it all bare, that it is not about building a life with his son. It is not about missing Peter. It is that he needs an extra set of hands so that he can make the universe him.
Mm-hmm.
And this horrifying, almost lich like
Oh, I
evil.
thought when I saw the moment that the skeletons were all in the basement, I was like, oh, a Lich Queen. I
Yeah,
see.
it's
This is his
Vlaakith.
phylactery. This is his phylacterum.
It's Vlaakith in Baldur's Gate. It's Robert Moses in Unsleeping City with Dimension 20. Like, Ego feels like a lich, and he's horrifying.
Isn't
And this
Vecna
whole
also a
veneer.
lich? Isn't that like the whole thing?
What?
Isn't Vecna a lich? Isn't that his whole thing?
I think technically.
Uh, but no, we said it so many times in the audio commentary how sinister he is, how deeply sinister his
Yeah.
behavior is, how deeply sinister his motivations are, the way he interacts with Peter. I fully have subscribed to the belief that the Kurt Russell appearance is solely to appeal to Peter.
Yeah, it is.
And every
It
other child that he has interacted with,
He
he
looks like
has,
if it's a
it's
Kree,
something
he's a
different.
Kree. Yeah.
yeah, if it's a Kree,
It's
he's a
something different.
Kree.
It's based on he clearly has some extra cosmic powers that can
Well, yeah, no,
allow
He's a
him to peer into
shapeshifter. Yeah.
people's,
yeah, and it's
but
not
like
like
specifically
he
like to
can
peer into people's
reform his
brains,
DNA.
Yeah.
but
He
like
is,
specifically to peer into people's brains because he had no way of knowing specifically, like when Peter came to him, what Peter would look for in a
yeah, he
father
did.
figure.
It was a picture that he already pulled out in his jacket, and Ego is the planet. So him bringing that photo onto the planet means that Ego had access to it.
What photo on? Sorry, what?
The David Hasselhoff photo.
No, I mean specific with his Kurt Russell form.
Oh, his Kurt Russell form was just a.
Just
I think that this is a good-looking man, and
placeholder human. Yeah.
yeah,
But like specifically, I would say specifically, he is because Kurt Russell, obviously an action star of the 70s
but
and 80s.
that's not Kurt Russell doesn't exist in this. Like,
No,
not
and that's a little bit of like meta layering to it. What I'm trying to say is like even like
Brandy.
the even the
His
form,
name.
yeah, even the form of ego that ego takes is like some like lost space brigand or something like that. Exactly the kind of person that Peter would look up to, but he wouldn't get to me at least like the appearance. Even if we take the idea of Kurt Russell out of the equation, and to me, I think it's intriguing, even though this is totally not in the movie, and this is the complete headcanon of mine, that ego would be able to, through some extra cosmic power, be able to like peer into somebody's brain and see, oh, using this information about them, what form of mine would be able to appease them most to do whatever I say. And it's why I actually a little bit disagree. I'm not even sure what complaint you have about the Hasselhoff thing, but I like the idea of the Hasselhoff thing at the end specifically because he has the picture, obviously, that kind of stuff. Like I could see like there's like a sort of like Palpatine-esque sort of
Ego
desperation.
having, yeah, I would say Ego having access to the photo inherently means that him like reshaping his form to David Hasselhoff is a direct like, well, what do you want me to be? This guy? I'll just be this guy. Will that make you
Yeah, it's
happy?
very much like something Palpatine would do when he's losing, where he's just
Sure.
throwing everything at the wall and going, "What about this? You want me to be this? I can be this. If you know, like if you just do what I
It's
want."
I
Yeah,
mean, to make a very direct Palpatine comparison, I've been every voice you've ever heard inside your head.
yeah,
And it's Snoke, Vader,
yeah,
in his own voice. But the thing I don't like about the Hasselhoff moment, and again,
No, yeah, I think you're right.
there
Yeah,
is there, and I love what you're
we
saying.
just don't
To
get
steal a
anything
force
else.
centerism, I love the emotional canon of what both of you are saying with that beat.
Yeah,
It also exists in the context of so many scenes that come to a screeching halt. And again, that moment, all of that veneer is melting away, and
yeah.
Ego thinks he is finally at the point where he can say, "And it killed me to put that tumor in her brain." And Peter, who is on the cusp of accepting this
yeah,
horrific cosmic power, the eternity, which is even cooler now with Love and Thunder, that it feels like that was capital E eternity, like the cosmic concept. But when
Ego
when
is a
he says
god,
that, it all melts away.
lowercase g.
Peter goes, "What?" And then Ego starts to try to explain himself. And Peter, and this is again, we talk about choices all the time from actors.
yeah.
Chris Pratt made a great choice, and James Gunn made a great choice in direction. That Peter is not
No, it is
that
instinctual.
you have never seen a more calm man draw a gun in your life.
Yeah, it
He
is
is
so
just so in
instinctual.
pocket of like, oh, you did it. I gotta fucking kill you
It
now.
You killed
it's
my
all
mom.
it's not a like it's not even a thinking thing. He's just like immediately the camera zoom in. One of my favorite choices of the movie. Camera zoom in, bam, blam, 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 blam.
Draws his pieces,
Ego doesn't know what's hit him.
and when we get
It
Ego
To
getting,
me, that the parallel that I made during the audio commentary was it's Inigo Montoya. It is the you killed like you are the six
Yeah.
fingered man, you killed my father, prepare to die.
And
yeah,
it's also great like the comparison with Montoya because there's that like and I feel like this is kind of like what Peter's looking for through one, and specifically this film, where when somebody does the conventional, well, killing the six-fingered man won't revenge
Won't
revenge
bring
won't
your
do it.
father back.
You're just killing another knight. You want revenge, and I think it's the six-fingered man who goes, you just want revenge, and the great Mandy Patinkin goes, I want my father back, you son of a bitch.
Yep. Whatever you want, I'll give you whatever you want. Do you want promise me a house? A house, you will have a house. Promise me a wife,
Yeah.
a wife, you will have a wife.
Yeah, that's what
No,
it is. I want
promise
my
me you'll
father
bring
back,
my
you
father
son of a
back.
bitch.
And Mandy
Yeah,
Patinkin in interviews had said that that was following his own father's death of cancer.
yeah.
And for
That's right.
him,
I remember
the
that.
Death of
Yeah.
six-finger
cancer.
man
What a theme.
was, well, because his father had a long battle with cancer and it hit like Mandy Patinkin look in the role was looking at the six-finger man like this is the embodiment of the cancer that has taken my father from me.
Right.
Yeah,
And so that
and
moment when
what a
he's like,
coincidence.
give
We
me
have
my
a
like,
literal body embodiment in this film of a cancer that took a parent away.
And well, to finish the thought real quick, because
Yeah,
so many
yeah.
great conversations are happening at once, like
Yeah,
legitimately,
sorry.
like great.
Yeah.
No, because I love the Inigo Montoya parallel, but to me, like Ego finally has a moment to show his true colors and scold Peter for being so small minded. And again, in theory, I understand the Hasselhoff thing, but I don't think the movie earns at any
yeah,
point Peter's childishness being a vice. A lot of the time, it is just really played for laughs.
hmm
And when he turns into David Hasselhoff, I remember when I saw this movie opening weekend, people laughed because it's funny. Because there's David Hasselhoff. Here's this incredibly niche, silly celebrity figure. Because we see him and we think of Baywatch, and we think of the fact that he's like a
it's a
really big
SpongeBob
musical
movie.
artist in Germany. You know, like we think of
Oh,
him
yeah.
running on the beach. You know, like
The
it's funny.
SpongeBob movie.
The SpongeBob movie. Like we see David Hasselhoff, and it's kind of he's one of those celebrities who is just he's not funny in a lolcow fun kind of way, but the existence of David Hasselhoff is funny because he's just kind of this relic of a different era of pop culture that has stood the test of time. At no point I think the scene would have been better if Ego literally looked at him and said, "Oh, what do you want, Peter? For me to turn into David Hasselhoff?"
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
him just saying it, like that would have been the moment where you throw Peter Quill's childlike innocence in his face,
yeah.
you
I
know.
fully
And I think
agree. Actually,
and Taylor, you don't like the Pac-Man thing. I think
I
the
don't
movie
like the
pays
Pac-Man
off
thing.
this exact idea really well because it is part of Peter's like childlike innocence at his core that helps him beat Ego.
Which is
That
fine. No, like I just don't. I didn't like it because I was like,
because the waka 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 waka, like I
and
get it's a
that
lot,
is somebody who is the top scorer at the Dave and Buster's Waterfront Pac-Man. That's me.
but there's just it just like that scene encapsulates it because it takes the wind out of it. And even later in the credits, David Hasselhoff is still played for
Yeah,
laughs. You know, it like to me in the movie is telling me Peter Quill's obsession with saying that Hasselhoff is his father is funny. And I don't think this scene should be funny.
it's
You
not.
know,
It's sad. Uh,
I don't think so many of these moments in the movie should be funny. I think Peter and Rocket can have a dick measuring contest because Rocket needs to feel where
big,
because Peter needs to feel in control and looked to as a leader
and Rocket
because
needs to feel big.
and Rocket needs to feel big. Like that can just be it. It doesn't need to turn into just this long overwritten fucking insult
Yeah.
exchange that just it's giving like redditors calling other people fuck nugget because
You're supposed to use a
let's take a
sarcastic voice, and now I feel foolish.
yeah, it's and again there are so many moments that are legitimately funny
Yeah,
that are
absolutely.
legitimately funny.
In those scenes specifically too, and I think that is the crux of your issue is that
Yeah,
that scene is funny, it is hilarious, it is cool to watch, it is great to watch, and then they hit that wall.
yeah, I didn't want to laugh right now. I did not want to be moved to laughter by this. And again, it feels weird from James Gunn, who is on by all
Very
accounts,
funny.
who's very funny, but is so well known for being almost terminally earnest in his art. Again, look at goddamn Superman.
I
That
don't know. I
is
think that's a
This movie is
culmination.
earnest
You
as
know what I
well.
mean?
This like I
Yeah,
know
I
that
think that's a culmination. You have to you reach that through growth and through freedom, full freedom creativity. But you
sure.
reach that through growth. And I think that we do see aspects of Superman, as like Eli was mentioning the 5 years time, like we have that aspect of it in this film with Yondu, but like we have specific examples of how James Gunn is going to do his movie, and I think that's really exciting. But the problem I think we run into here in volume 2 specifically is the box he is put in, and that clunky dialogue.
Yeah. It
We are in a
just
box where we can only like James Gunn cannot just do Superman. He doesn't have full creative freedom of this universe. He has to exist in a set thing that has a set outcome, that has a movie that is a two-part movie that has everything, and like he has to, you know, but I think it is the beauty that we see from him, like those moments where we have Yondu, where we have Peter and Rocket in the cockpit, where it is funny to a point, and then we hit that clunky dialogue wall. The Now I feel foolish. When the prison break scene, which is our favorites, I think, as a whole. But during that scene where they're talking to Baby Groot, is that they're talking back and forth about whether or not he likes hats. And Yondu is like, is this really a conversation that you guys need to have right now? And even though that has been a very funny scene and a great scene, you mentioned it, Jarod, during the audio commentary, that you were like, that specifically is where I have the problem. The explaining well, the funny part is they're having that conversation right
yeah,
now.
is this very bizarre like conversation of that's why you don't like hats because you think it's some part of somebody's head, and again and it
And it's silly, it's funny.
it's funny, and again Michael Rooker, lumps and all, delivers the line well and he sells it and I
Yeah,
chuckle, but still it feels so weirdly lampshady. It's like, I'm going to make a wild comparison here and I trust you both to follow me for a moment.
I'll mute myself so I don't
when I when I say Rambo, what do you think of?
I think of Zoe from K-pop Demon Hunters.
Cool. You think of a series of movies where Sylvester Stallone kills a shit ton of people.
Oh yeah, that too.
So in Rambo First Blood, the first movie, Rambo doesn't fucking kill anybody.
No?
Because the whole point is that Rambo is tortured by being a Vietnam vet.
Yeah, I think most Vietnam vets are also tortured by being Vietnam vets.
But like,
I've been
but
watching Turning Point, Vietnam War on Netflix while Jared's away.
hopefully not USA.
but
Oops.
heel turn from Taylor.
It's just the clips Jared sends me, don't worry.
Okay,
Out
chill.
of context.
The
Out of
funny
context
clips, the
jokes.
funny
Out of
clips of
context
Nicki
jokes.
Minaj calling JD Vance an assassin.
Yeah,
Um,
and Erica Kirk coming out like fucking Hannah Montana
but but I think there's something to be
to
said for
her
like,
husband's assassination celebration.
but what I'm getting at with the Rambo thing is I think people sometimes creatives make a mistake in misunderstanding what made the thing they made special. And I don't know if this was a Disney thing. I don't know if it was a Feige thing. I don't know if it was a James Gunn thing. I don't know who, I don't want to say is to blame or at fault because I think that's reductive to phrase it that way. But I don't know whose decision it was and what point along the way the very funny conversational humor of the first movie needed to be doubled down on, and it feels so much less casual. And that is a hurdle for me watching this movie every time. And I think it does at some points kind of suck the energy out of a lot of scenes. I've been going for a minute, Eli. I'm fairly certain you don't agree with me, and I will give you a moment to respond.
For complaints about the over-explanatory humor in this movie, y'all have sure been over-explaining it.
That all you got?
No, I understand it. It doesn't. I understand the criticisms. I agree at certain points. I think the we really have time for this. I agree with the Yondu one. The Gamora one to me fits in more with the I'm gonna die with the surrounded by the biggest idiots in the galaxy from Volume 1. Like it's in that
That's
canon
one of the best
things. Like,
lines
do
of
we
all
really
time.
need to talk about that right now? Is for me is her continued exasperation of how many times are we gonna put in. Are we going to be put in life and death situations, and these fucking idiots are going to be arguing about silly shit like this?
I'm going to interject real quick and say part of it for me is also Drax in this movie, because he also lacks the like fun subtlety of his humor in the first movie.
Yeah, I think
there's so many comedic beats in the first movie where it's just Drax just kind of not understanding linguistic things, and here it is Drax just going, I have big turds. You know,
yeah, I think
how many times are we going to go to the well of him thinking Mantis wants to fuck him? Like, how many times are we going to go to the well like that? Like that's part of it too, where it's like
I think
we're missing the magic of this character.
Off screen, we were having a conversation with friends of the show, Alden Diaz, and I was talking about a complaint of mine of Thor: Love and Thunder, where I feel like Korg gets a bit flannerized. His sense of humor. I think a similar critique, I think a little less so, can be levied at Drax in this movie. However, I do find myself like thinking of my two of my favorite comedic beats from this movie, which are still from Drax. It's the Annulax Harbor Larry thing.
So
it's just such a random ass thing to do. And the other one, even though it is a Mantis moment, is the great when Mantis falls from the sky. Mantis, look out!
No, that shit's fucking hilarious. Yeah. I even said in the audio commentary, this is one of the things. Like for some reason, James Gunn went, "Oh, we can't let it feel too epic." But man, when that piece of debris hits Mantis in the head, I laugh every fucking time. But the Harbulary batteries thing, like that is so funny because it's inexplicable. It is inexplicable that
Harbulary batteries. That's not all what I said.
I will just
what
say,
are these called again? Annulax batteries.
Harbulary batteries.
What?
I will say
that's literally. I'm just not listening.
I will get it out of the way because I do want to talk about what I love about this movie, which is almost everything. My two big things with this movie that get me every time. Actually, the first one is only this time. Poor Elizabeth Debicki. She gets like nothing to do in this movie.
Yeah.
I love the Sovereign as a concept, as an idea. I think it's really interesting, and I'd love it to be expanded in the future. I have a feeling, just from what I've seen of Guardians 3, that they don't really get back to that, and that's fine.
Well, a sovereign citizen is a hard topic to, broach.
Yeah, but anyway,
talk about them.
But Elizabeth Debicki gets reduced to sits there, says thing sternly, is covered in gold.
Yes.
And like I understand
famously
the complaint.
Covered in gold.
And I understand the complaint.
I wonder if it's full body paint.
Yeah, that's a good question. I understand the complaint. I even agree with the complaint that the Sovereign really isn't given a whole lot to do. And I would even bristle at their return at the end if the combination of all their ships approaching the living planet soundtrack to Wham Bam Shangalang isn't like the most epic thing I've ever seen. Like that's cinematic. Like that's like Guardians level of cinematic of all the ships going, we gotta wham, like truly
coming out of hyperspace.
Yeah, coming out of hyperspace. Like truly, like that's one of the great shots of the movie. The other thing, and I've never gotten over this, and I don't think I'm gonna get over this, and that's fine because it's 30 seconds long. The effects on Rockets and Yondu's and Groot's eyes as they're making all those jumps are fucking stupid, and I hate them. I cannot stand them. They're like they're like
makes me feel like a hypocrite because I cackled in the audio commentary.
They're
I fucking
they're
love
YouTube
the.
video graphics.
No, I get
I
it.
think
I
the
don't disagree with you.
I think the idea is interesting, but they're YouTube video goddamn graphics,
Oh
and
yeah,
I
they're
mean that
terrible.
derogatorily.
They're terrible. But it's fun.
MLG, MLG, hit
they're
marker, hit
just
marker, hit marker.
they're just really awful. But
Damn,
I
son,
will
where'd you find this?
seriously. But every time, like, because I knew for background on my musical history, and you'll see why this is important soon. My parents raised me on the music of their childhoods and all that kind of stuff in the 70s and 80s and all that kind of stuff. So most of these songs I knew very well. I liked a lot of these songs before these movies. But every time I hear the words now, there's a port on the Western Bay and it serves 100 ships. Like, I start to like get emotional inside because the soul of this movie, which to me is Kurt Russell and is Ego the Living Planet, is such a, because I remember getting in when I was watching all the animated series from the 90s, getting to Ego the Living Planet in Fantastic Four, the 90s animated series. And Ego the Living Planet in the animated series and in the comics, mostly, from what I understand, is the comic-ized, simplified version of him in this movie. It is the form that we see of the face on the planet and all that kind of stuff. And that alone is a very interesting sci-fi concept, but doesn't have a lot of depth to it. But then you get what James Gunn does with, in my opinion, I think, the greatest single movie villain of the Infinity Saga. I really think, like, of all of the Infinity Saga villains, that are only in one movie, so discounting Loki and Zola and Thanos. I think I think Ego is the best for me. I think Ego is the best for me. Killmonger comes close. Hela comes close. Ultron, you're right, comes close. But I think it's Ego for me, and I think that's
entire staff will die.
I think it's Ego for me.
No, I like that. I
he
don't.
Is an epic, like, he is a top tier, like,
yeah. And
galactic threat.
Yeah.
In a way that I think most of the other villains could never be.
Right.
But he still has that depth in there, and it is the that, as we see the as I'm to steal a phrase from my co-host on In a Galaxy, peeling back the layers of what Ego is all about in this movie. Of he clearly does have this devotion to Meredith, as I'm sure he had a devotion to all of the people he tried to put part of himself into, sexually or otherwise. We don't know how that happened, but above it all is, to make the name so literal, the almost like instinctual desire to make everything, as he says, like him. And it is.
Remember the SVU episode with John Stamos?
Yes. I really love that you went to John Stamos and I was about to go to George Lucas. Because I know exactly what you're talking about. And Eli, what I think is interesting, if we're going to put our like Star Wars caps on for a moment, as you and I are wont to do, I think it is a blown up to the nth degree version of what corrupts Anakin Skywalker. Because on some level, the rot at the core of Anakin and Padme's relationship is that, and he comes by it honestly, but it is Anakin's inability to understand love without possession.
Yeah, it's the selfish nature of his love.
And because with Anakin, obviously he loves Padme. He would, if Padme were to die of natural causes and he could not have prevented it, if he had no visions, whatever, he would mourn for her deeply and it would deeply affect him. But at the end of the day, on a molecular level, I don't think Anakin could quite process his grief of Padme as not being this wonderful human being who brought so much light to the galaxy, who did so much good, who stood for so many just things,
Yeah.
that
It's
light has
because
been snuffed out and we are all lost because of it. It would
yeah.
be I, Anakin Skywalker, personally am really sad my wife is dead.
It is
And
what
that
she
there's
did
a
for me. It is
what she
not
did
who she was as a person.
precisely.
And that is not, and that's not love, but it is not the full holistic experience of what love is.
Yeah, it's
It is
marred by the ego. Like,
yeah.
and again, kudos. I spent so much of this episode shitting on James Gunn's writing in this movie. I just want to say real quick, kudos to James Gunn for having the straight cojones to have a character be literally called ego, and his whole driving ideology and personality is built around an uncontrollable like sense
Oh
of self.
yeah.
Like
And to not
like
Narcissism
make
that
has
is a level
taken
of bold. Like the character's name is Batty
narcissism
McStab
has
Man.
taken yeah, he has taken a
and to make it so
turn.
subtle, there's a subtlety to it where
Yeah,
he could have made everything about him at the start. He could have had a Trump-like narcissism to him where
right.
he instantly needed to make everything about himself, but he didn't. The ego, no pun intended, that he displayed built and built and built where
There's
at
even instances where he's self-deprecating.
he
He's like, I'm a
self-deprecates, but
celestial.
yeah,
He's like, I'm a celestial. You're like a god, little g. You
yeah,
know,
little
I
J.
have a penis. You know,
Yeah,
like it's like those little bits where he's like humanizing himself, and in a way that is scary to see a narcissist do
Yeah.
when you know what is lingering beneath. And I know Taylor is more familiar with more of the psychological element here, and I want to hear your thoughts on this specifically, Taylor. But it's that level of I am performing humility because
Uh
I need you to lower your guard so that I can get in. And
yeah,
if I begin with I am so brilliant and important that I need to like circumvent reality and insert myself upon creation. If I lead with that, I might be scaring the hose. Um,
yeah,
Taylor, your thoughts on ego? Because I have another thought on the. I know we all want to talk about Brandy, just that musical cue as well. But
oh,
thoughts on ego
so
in
good.
particular?
So Ego as a character is something that I find very fascinating because he is an embodiment of like a man, like the narcissist to the umpteenth degree that like it is a sowing of seeds across the galaxy. It is going from planet to planet, impregnating women. Now, I fully subscribe to the belief that Ego portrays himself as a different alien species to whatever alien species he is with. It lessens the freaky deaky blow of spaceman who like, you know, if I'm an alien like Drax and I see a human on my planet for the very first time, that's weird. I may not like
yeah.
actually be comfortable with that. But if I see somebody who looks like me and is charming and all of these other things, and so he does this little song and dance with every single child, and that's why Mantis knows exactly what's going on.
I'm also curious as to how long he waits. Because he says Peter's the
Yeah,
first
that's
one
true.
that actually has the celestial genes. So, like, how long does he do the song
He
and dance
does the
before he just
song and dance
atomizes somebody?
up until he he has them
Like try to do the light, yeah.
create.
Um,
And
and
that's
and
why he
and
gets so excited
yeah,
because
When Peter does it, and
he's
the
mirroring that.
what I think, and this is I think just me like a thing I really appreciate that James Gunn does, even when it comes across kind of literally sometimes, and it often does. Um, the I truly believe Gunn is one of the foremost experts of writers that I've seen of planting seeds and then turning them into flowers at the exact right moments and with the exact right intensity. It is the playing
Facts.
catch thing. It's even the Hasselhoff thing for me. Like it's the Hasselhoff thing
I found the playing
in
catch so devastatingly like sinister.
because it's a
Oh
symbol, it's
yeah.
a societal symbol everybody recognizes. Obviously, Peter mentions in the movie, and everybody can know. Oh yeah, societal trope of a dad playing catch with their son, and then we have it done, and we realize, oh, at the same time, and this is brilliant, at the same time, this is everything that Peter wants and has ever wanted, and it is completely and utterly hollow inside.
It's
It is
entirely false.
it's the duality of this is so important for him, but it's even more important for Ego, and it has absolutely zero to do with Peter.
Well, it's Gamora saying,
Um,
like, it's him saying, "I finally found the family I've been looking for," and
yeah,
Gamora saying, "I thought you already did."
yeah, and that's the great thing, and of course we can talk, and we did in the last episode, in the Guardians 1 episode, about all of the obvious Star Wars allusions. But I think this is like, because of course we have the devastating father reveal in this movie. But what I think is so genius about it is that at no point does this feel reminiscent of Vader and Luke.
Well, I think it's because it's really not in the nature of the film. You know, he's not. There is no prior relationship they have. There is no like violent tension. There is no.
No, but there is like it's so genius to me, at least, that like, because Guardians is obviously modeled so much and so specifically after Star Wars.
Yeah.
That's something like this, that a specific, your father is evil and he wasn't like you thought he might be, was so expertly done in this without being anything reminiscent
Yeah.
of The Empire Strikes Back.
Despite
And
the badass reimagining poster. I love
yeah,
that every Guardians movie has a Star Wars parody poster.
it's
Like,
it's brilliant.
eventually I'm going to pay the extra money on Letterboxd to change the posters. All 3 Guardians posters are going to be the Star Wars
It is a
parody.
life change. I became a patron, I think, like a year and a half ago. You'll appreciate this. I think I forget the name of the artist. I was looking it up earlier, but every poster of a Marvel film I have there has the Marvel Studios banner on the bottom for me. It's and has like the artistic renderings of the movies. I can share my screen after this if you want to see it. It looks fucking gorgeous. But yeah, no, yeah, Ego is a fantastic villain. Again, Kurt Russell, my favorite part of this movie. It is that tenderness. It is the because
I don't think there's any tenderness from Kurt Russell, and I think that is what is so deeply sinister to me. And I think it's a beautiful character. Like, I think it's one of those situations where it's a great character choice. It's a great writing.
I guess what I mean is
there's
it's like
that facetiousness.
It's him performing the tenderness.
It's performance of tenderness.
Like him,
you're right.
Doing this for hundreds of thousands of millions of years.
Yeah.
You don't get a lich pit of skeletons like that.
Yeah, it is the performed tenderness. It is,
and it is so sinister that he has gotten so good at it.
Yeah, it is when he lands on Burmer. I think that's that planet's name. Pete, I found you. I am so happy to see
even
you.
His egg, even that little the ship. I mentioned it during the audio commentary. It comes down into the planet and it obliterates everything in its path until it buries down and becomes one with the soil as level.
Yeah.
There is no platform needed necessarily, but like it destroys everything it comes in contact with until it has burrowed into the surface. Like a tick.
I would also, this is going to sound unrelated.
Shaped like a tick.
Yeah. This is going to sound unrelated, and it probably is. And I saw some like, but I was just thinking about this, and I had this thought in my mind before we were recording this, because of course this is the show The Road to Doomsday, and people are all talk about the plan and all that kind of stuff, and I know y'all have talked so much on this series about the plan and how much of a plan there really was and all that kind of stuff. Guardians of the Galaxy 2, a sequel to the film that properly introduced the villain of Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame, has, of any film post the Avengers, I would argue, the least to do with Infinity War Endgame.
Oh, yeah.
It is Nebula and Mantis to the Guardians, and that is it.
100%.
You could remove this movie, and it would have a very negligible impact on, let's just say, Infinity War specifically.
No, I
Like,
agree with that, and I think that's part of its charm is that it's able to feel so on its own.
yeah, and but so for people talking about like all that kind of stuff, I would refer them back to Guardians 2, a movie that is, despite various criticisms people have had on it, generally well loved and has
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
basically nothing to do with Avengers Infinity War. Endgame, you can split hairs on that because of the Nebula and Tony Stark scene at the
I was about to
beginning of
say,
it,
well,
but
also Nebula and Rocket's relationship is very important. I think that Mantis's power growth over time
yes.
almost
yeah, yeah,
sedates Thanos. So like
yeah,
her powers, with her thinking that she doesn't have any, like she is just a cog in a machine, she consistently is putting a celestial to sleep.
Yeah.
Thanos is only ever mentioned in this film, and it is not in a, oh, he's coming, oh, we're in danger.
Somebody just goes,
It is,
"Oh, she's the daughter of Thanos."
Well, it's also I'm gonna go kill dad.
No, that's true.
it's in the measurement of the impact that he has had on Gamora and Nebula. That's the
Which is,
only trace of Thanos in this film.
I mean,
And I
that's the
will,
only reason they are both here, you know what I mean? Like that is like core
yeah,
portion of their characters.
yeah. And I just
I'm
do want to
I'm going to
say,
interject real quick. Just I know we talked about it. For anybody who doesn't know what we're talking about, I downloaded it so I could throw it on screen. Oh, it's
oh yeah,
potato.
oh
It looks like you downloaded it.
yeah,
Jesus
it
Christ.
does.
Um,
The thought
but
was
the
forming in my brain
iconic
while you
Star
said
Wars
it. Yeah.
Guardians posters of
Oh, it looks so good. Looks damn good.
yeah.
For some reason, I
When
thought
you
the
can
New
when
Hope
it's pixels,
style
it's
one,
Matt Ferguson, by the way. Shouts out Matt Ferguson.
Matt Ferguson. That was the, yeah. That was the one who the banners I was talking about. Those are.
Oh, that he did those too with the
He did those too.
Marvel.
Yes, he did
He's
those
also
too.
done the re-release Star Wars posters
Star
as
Wars
well.
ones. Yeah, I was looking on his website earlier today. But yeah, I will just say, I talked so much in our one review about the Daughters of Thanos, and I deeply love their progression in this film, as well. I will
Yes.
say, I think as, like, with the Daughters of Thanos, as I'm calling them, the one was Gamora's film, two is Nebula's film.
Yes.
Gamora gets a whole bunch of stuff to do in this film,
Gamora
specifically
has
with
also
her.
gotten the growth that she really desperately needed in the first movie.
Yes, and also she gets to, like, her and Drax, but I think Drax in this film specifically, Drax, I was thinking of him. I was like, because I was kind of wrestling with his role because a lot of his stuff is comedic relief in this film, but I do think that he has a role that I think is very similar actually to Finn in The Rise of Skywalker, where he has to grapple with, because he is, I feel like, the glue holding the team together at this point. Like, it's not like everybody cares about Drax so much, but like he is the one, like, that everybody can, barring barring a few little things, get along with just fine. And I think he, he has to grapple with a little bit in this movie, and maybe it should have been a little more emphasized. I can see that. With the idea of, okay, I have this new family and I have to keep them together. It's the thing that he was talking about with Mantis in front of the pools on Ego, the Living Planet, where he was like, I forget the line. It was like, but he was talking about his daughter's innocence.
Yeah, no, I took my daughter to see the pools, the hidden pools on
Yeah,
our planet, and
yeah,
you
and
remind me of her. Why was
yeah,
she disgusting?
thing innocent. There
No,
we
she
go.
was
That's what it.
innocent.
And I think it is we are all facing these new and escalated challenges, and it's my responsibility to keep everyone together, even if they don't realize how important that is.
Agreed.
Um,
100%.
I think speaking of Mantis, she had a phenomenal line once they all arrived at Ego's planet, and Gamora asked, "What is this place?" It is extension of Ego's being.
yeah,
And she's like, "Well, why don't other people come here? Would you invite a flea to
flee
live? Like, would a dog
onto your back.
invite a
Yeah,
flea to live on its back?" And I was
yeah,
like, "Oh yeah, girl,"
yeah.
because
Palm
she
Clementif is incredibly reserved in this film, but I think which I think causes her to go and another stuff is Mantis. Mantis is such a reserved character, which I think causes her to be like a little overlooked sometimes, but she's great.
She is so good, and that description is so apt because through the end of the film, like you see during the battle scenes and everything, the sovereigns coming in, like I described it as, again, like they cause so much ancillary damage that, again, they may be aiming for the guardians, but they are actively destroying the planet. Ego's exoskeleton, they are actively destroying the, like, just everything they come in
Yeah.
contact with.
And it begins
um
his decay, as you pointed out in the audio commentary.
Ego's physical form. So, and again, the thing that I find very fascinating is because he has put so much of an emphasis on trying to get Peter to still come around. So all of that time, like when he is creating the tentacles that are like pulling ships and pulling people and pulling this, that is easy for him. But when he tries to become a corporal being, there's another change. When it becomes a corporal being, he it takes time, and you can see the skeleton, like it's a very, I said, it's very Terminator.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You see
it
his
is.
skeleton form, then you see his nervous system form, then you see his organs begin to slowly form, you see his intestines, and then you see his kidneys, his stomach, you see flesh, you see muscle begin to form, you see ligaments and tendons connect. Like, it is so visceral.
Yeah.
Until he's able to be covered again by another shell, which is the skin, the appearance, the physical form. But he has put so much effort into this illusion, this like grand illusion. Um, because at the end of the day, he still needs Peter because he needs the battery. He needs an extra power source.
Yeah.
And I think that, like, again, his ship itself invokes a really, like, a tick imagery for me. Like, it lands and it burrows into the soil, destroying everything. And how many times has that happened on every single planet he's ever been to? And then
Yeah.
he drops an egg, and then he leaves. And, much like, you know, flesh-eating diseases and any inherent illness, like, it spreads like it spreads like a monster, a cancer. And he's dropped this off throughout the entire galaxy to envelop them all.
Yeah. It
Because
didn't
it is
occur
a
to me.
hunger that can never be satiated. It is the need to become all encompassing. It is the grandest form of like, it is the the greatest ego in the world, is to take everything.
To need
Yeah.
everything to be you. It never occurred to me how perfect. Like, I'm not sure what if James Gunn specifically knew that Ego Living Planet was going to be the villain for 2, or Peter's father specifically when he wrote 1, but it's so perfect for cancer to be the disease that killed his mother because that's what
Well,
ego is.
and I think that inherently, I mean, the way that they get to explain it away is hand waving. Like, she died of a terminal illness. I don't think it is genuinely, like, I know they're like, oh, she may have had brain cancer or something. Like, it is very generalized. But I think that the morphing of it to, God, it killed me to put that tumor in your mom's brain.
Yeah, we talked about the moment of like the needle, the just the drop of the hat of like the of yeah, it's so that part of the movie is just so
Sinister.
it, it's a crystallization.
It is the epitome of everything that Peter could have ever feared about this meeting.
Yeah, um,
My dad
and
is
then
not only not what I could have ever imagined he was, but he also killed my mom.
yeah, but I think actually one of the other things, going back to something I was saying earlier about the irresemblance between Peter and Ego and Luke and Vader, what I think one of the things that really separates the apart is, and we talked about it quite a bit earlier, but is Yandu, is the
Yeah.
fact that Peter had his father figure all along and he just didn't realize.
Yondu would
Uh,
be that father figure. He protects the family.
Yeah, I as soon as I said the words father figure, I heard the melody in my mind. I was like, yeah, I'm sure she's gonna mention that.
Yondu protects that family, baby.
He does protect the family, and it seems like some of
And it's
his
because his dick's bigger. All right.
um and it seems like
Yondu.
some of his family don't fully appreciate it. I'm not sure
And that's why they got canceled.
if these are I'm not sure if these are some of the jokes y'all take issue with. I think the Taserface bit is fucking hilarious.
I like
Um,
Taserface. I
Taserface
think
works
that,
in context because it is Rocket taking the piss out of another guy.
and then
it
also
is
the sovereign
completely
girl just hearing
yeah.
Taserface.
It's just the complete negging of this guy. Of
It's
like
so good.
of him just like I read this is another thing I read on the wiki that that James Gunn had posted on Instagram or Twitter a few while making Guardians 1 that he thought the stupidest Marvel character ever was Taserface and that he would never include him in a movie he wrote. But the fact that he included him in this movie just to have other characters talk about how much of his name sucks is legitimately one of the funniest things ever.
Oh, absolutely. It's such a fun moment, and it's it goes to show like again the strength of the Guardians' humor is the irreverence. It's not in the joke is funny because I explained it aloud. It is that taser face. Okay. Um,
Yeah. And then of
I do
course
want to.
we
Oh,
oh
okay.
sorry,
Sorry,
go
I
ahead.
There
just
you go.
found I was pulled back into a memory of The Flea by John Donne. Um it's a poem, like it's a romantic poem about a flea biting like two lovers in the Middle Ages, and therefore their blood is already commingled, so they might as well, commingle. And I was like, "Oh my God.
Ego could have written that, yeah. I was just gonna say
It's his mom. It's the fucking it's the mom. It's
I was just gonna quickly say I know he's gonna get his big arc in 3, but the stuff around Rocket in this film I think is so fascinating. Of
You will see
okay,
how great the table is set here. You will
yeah,
see how
it
great the table setting
yeah.
is.
But like the idea of okay, fine, I'm gonna join this family. That doesn't mean I have to like it. Okay, well, why don't you like it? Well, it's because I have to constantly put up this shield. I have to it is the uh it is the protection is it from an ungrateful galaxy as he talks about in the first movie that goes to the
it's the
infamous
Yondu,
line,
yeah.
yeah, the infamous line that just always sticks in my brain for this movie. It's of course, I know it. I know who you are. I know everything about you. I know who you are, boy, because you're me. It is the identification of these two kind of Han Solo-esque figures who feel
I
the
said that
need
during the audio commentary.
to put on this front to protect themselves because they know if anybody really knows who they and this is a Star-Lord thing too, like father like son.
Mm-hmm.
Because they know if the galaxy really figures out who they are, they
How
feel
much
that
they
they
care.
They're
and how
just a
much they care.
sad
They
little
feel
boy
like
from basically
they're going to be
who
put at
wants
that
to
much
help.
more risk because of that.
Yep.
Beautiful.
No, it's so good. I love that you brought that up. I do want to talk briefly before we start to wind down here about the soundtrack.
Beautiful.
Can I voice a hot take?
It depends on how hot it is.
I think I know what you're gonna say, and I think James Gunn agrees with you.
I
You
think.
did it again. You did it again.
Ah, you fucker.
I'm so good
Um,
at noticing, Jared. You need to have me around all the time. I notice immediately when he does it.
the soundtrack to two. Let me
I
restart.
I would say wait, before we get into that, Smashing Pumpkins, my dad's fave.
Hell
Had
yeah.
to include that for my dad since Yondu got
You
his
might say that that for Rocket, despite all his rage, he's still just a raccoon in a cage.
I
also
like.
Yondu got the Zune for
Yes, I love
and
the
that just made
Zune.
my heart so full.
Yeah, oh, that's great.
I like the individual songs in Volume 1 more than I like the individual songs in Volume 2.
But overall,
I think the soundtrack is utilized, especially diegetically, better in Volume 2.
Yeah,
I would
you're absolutely
agree.
right.
I think the needle drop moments are used more effectively in 2, even
Yeah.
though if I was told, Jared, you can only listen to the Guardians 1 soundtrack or the Guardians 2
Guardians
soundtrack.
2.
I am
I would pick
picking
one.
one
I
without
pick one. Yeah, I
without a
pick one too.
second's hesitation.
I
But
pick one, and Brandy's one of my favorite songs of all time.
but
And that
it's
brings me
not
to the next thing I want to
time
talk about
to
with
make a
Brandy.
change.
Because Taylor, we said this in the audio commentary. I am sure I have heard this song before Guardians Volume 2. It was after Volume 2 that I started noticing the song in the wild. But you said this is one of your GOAT songs of all time. I saw it, by the way.
So, what? You saw what?
I saw him change his name. That's all. I was
Oh,
just pointing out
okay.
that I saw it.
Yeah, no, Brandy is one of my all-time favorite songs of all time. When I was abroad, I set up multiple playlists. I know you wanted to say it so bad and you didn't. Good job, Jared.
Thank you.
I had set up many playlists that just like really reminded me of home. And one of them was a very big like 70s playlist. And it wasn't necessarily something because my parents were very into grunge music. My such grungy people, my parents were. Thanks, Dad. And I obviously I love the music. When I was a kid, I was so into Nirvana. That was all of the music I knew how to play on the bass, was all was rock and roll.
I
It
had no
was
idea you played the bass, and yet that makes so much sense to me.
when I was younger, I played the bass. I haven't played the bass in many years. I think the last time I played it was at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame with Jared's family.
Yeah.
And that was the first time I had played the bass since probably I was 15, 16. So well over 10 years at that point. But I absolutely love like it's Brandy is one of those songs that have always like I will never like it's a song that in my heart and soul it is literally driving in the car, all the windows down on a summer night, like a summer evening, the sun's just going down, it's golden hour. It is the perfect song to just be alive to. Like it really is. Like I feel like there is no better representation to me of like the American spirit. I mean, Tom Petty aside, American spirit, the being on the
Wait,
road, Tom Petty aside.
that's not Tom Petty.
No. Tom Petty aside as in like
Oh, I see what you mean. Okay, sorry. I was like, did she think that's Tom Petty?
no.
Okay, I was like,
No, it's fucking hilarious.
No. Tom Petty aside, as in Tom
oh,
Petty
I
is
see.
another
Aside from Tom
American
Petty, yeah, no, I didn't want to I'm
aside.
actually right there. I'm like,
Yeah,
that is some
that is
band no one's
another
ever heard of.
American
Looking
Girl,
Glass,
Jack and
yeah,
we're yeah.
Springsteen, him aside, yeah, all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Everybody aside, yeah. John Cougar Mellencamp, my mom. If my mom's well, if both of them are in the same place, I'm sure they're having a great time. Um,
I'm interjecting real quick just
Eddie
to
Van
say
Halen and or no, the guy from Pearl Jam's still alive, so I know he's not there yet.
I'm interjecting for
Better?
one moment to say I'm
Yeah, my
looking
mom's
back at the Guardians 3
super in love
soundtrack.
with him.
Guardians 1 has the best soundtrack of all three.
No, I would agree. But
3 does the needle drop moments better even than 2. But overall, I like the music in 1 more. Continue. I just wanted to fact check myself real quick to see if
but
that
yeah,
was
no,
my opinion.
I have a on Spotify. I have a playlist and it's named Brandy, and it is a collection of all of my most favorite songs that if I have a road trip in the summer and like if I'm going if I have a wide open road and nothing but good time and sunshine,
You're
it
not
is
gonna land on the boogie.
Brandy. Well, it's Brandy, and it's everything that like is good about. It's good. It's peaceful.
Wait, that's Moonlight. Never mind.
Dancing in the Moonlight. Yeah, I got
No,
that.
I was making a
Um,
Jacksonson joke, but anyway.
no, yeah, Tony Orlando. He's my other babe. One time I had like accidentally fucked my Spotify Wrapped so bad that it was a bunch of like people who were dead um on my Spotify Wrapped, and they were like, "Well, we can't show you a video because they can't record one."
Um, I think, and again, I love everything you're saying, and Brandy's use in the film is great. Um,
So poignant, so poetic, so
Yeah.
very much
the way Ego uses it to be self-aggrandizing. I fucker. The
so
way Ego
it's
uses
yeah,
it to
the
be
way he
self-aggrandizing.
is internalized that song in a like a very sinister way.
My
It's one of the
favorite use of it, my favorite use of it is whenever Peter is like being hoisted up on like
Hmm.
the light
yeah.
tentacle, and
We're the sea, Peter. Yeah.
when he goes to destroy the Walkman,
Yeah.
that it's the warped version of it that
Oh,
like
it's so spooky.
that made my hair stand up, and I didn't want to go crazy about it on the audio commentary because I would have talked about it for the rest of the fucking movie. But that hearing that warped,
Mm.
echoey Randy,
Yeah.
It is
like
so spooky.
it's so
It
spooky because it is because it's because the Ego, it isn't a
It's the
love story.
internalized, yeah, it's the internalized version he has of the song. It is not
yeah.
a good
and
time summer drive.
and what is so haunting about it to me is that at the first half of the movie, you're seeing the song through Ego's perspective, and
And through
from the
Meredith.
perspective and from the perspective of where the song's written. Oh, I don't want to have to leave,
Yeah,
but I do.
I
But
can't help
then
it.
I can't help for the second half of the movie, once we realize the true nature of Ego, to think about it from Meredith's perspective, from the other side of the song, of, well, I love you. Why do you have to go? And that explanation being, from what I can understand and what I can assume, robbed from her, of this guy coming from the stars, being
Her spaceman.
the perfect thing for her, being the man that she thinks she needs, and he suddenly having to go, impregnating her and then taking off, and of her, if I'm such a fine girl, if you're my life, if I'm your life, your love, and your lady, then why are you leaving?
But it's the sea. That's
And
the thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
but a sea that she can never understand,
Yeah,
and that's what's
fundamentally.
haunting to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Deeply and fundamentally, she
Yeah,
could never because it's not within her realm of
yeah, and she was never meant to. But
Yeah.
I want to say, because we haven't talked about the song yet, and it's the double tap of this movie. And yes, I changed my name just to talk about this. Like Jared, I'm sure I had encountered I'm sure I knew and loved the chain before this film, but I never really paid attention to the lyric because the music of the like the acoustic parts of the song musically to me are so, like, even for its time, like, crazy and revolutionary. Just like to have the acoustics and then to launch into the big song. But I never really paid attention to the lyrics of the song. And it is the threat that Ego is portraying to Peter throughout the whole movie. Both the, if you can't love me now, you will never love me again. I'm the only parent you have left. And if you take me
it's a
down, never
weaponization.
have that parent figure
Yep.
ever again. And also we can never break the chain because, of course, the whole the my favorite exchange in this movie, I think, probably, and if you kill me, you'll be just like everybody else. What's so wrong with that? And if you can love me now, and it's that immediate drop into that, the slow
Yeah,
mo.
that's really
I
good. That's a
believe
good
that
moment.
if again, I have no proof for
Similar to
this.
your thing with Brandy, like the shift in perspective, it's almost like it's Peter taking it back.
100%.
Yeah, yeah.
Because musically, he'll go, "Well, if you can't
Well,
love me now
You can
yeah.
for
never love me
me,
What's so
again.
wrong with
Yeah.
that?
for Meredith
Yeah.
Quill's son.
And I have no proof for this. But I feel like that the drop of the chain at the end of Peter and Ego colliding served as a model for Taika Waititi to do a similar kind of thing with the drop of both Immigrant Song in Ragnarok and of November Rain in Love and Thunder.
Yeah.
Like both of those feel very much like a precursor to what Taika would very effectively do in those films with Thor bringing the lightning down. Just brilliant, just goddamn brilliant.
Absolutely. I love that, Eli. Thank you.
Still, I think my favorite one, I gotta say, just because of how ridiculous it is, still think my favorite song of this movie is All Hope Seems Lost on the main ship of the Ravagers, and out of the corner of a speaker you just hear, in a little cafe just the other side of the board. And like the moment you hear that for me now is just like, oh, things are about to get fucked up around here. Oh, let's do this. If Channing Tatum could have crept into that scene, he would have talked about how much he was about to make a name for himself out here.
Incredible. With that, do we have any other final thoughts on Guardians 2? Or are we ready to bring this puppy home?
I do have one more thing I want to talk about with Guardians 2, and I swear it's short.
Go.
He's appeared in so many movies, and there are great movies he's done things with.
Jeff Goldblum. I'm just kidding.
No. But of every single movie he's appeared in, every single movie he's appeared in, and believe me, there are a lot of them, I think this is my favorite Stan Lee cameo.
Oh yeah.
Ever.
I would have
even more than Spider-Verse, more than Captain America Civil War, more than anything.
No, this is so perfect. Seeing the Watchers and then it revealed it like
that he's an informant of the Watchers. And Gunn admits this was a mistake because obviously the timeline stuff he can't because of the post-credit scene, even though Guardians 2 was made after Civil War, it technically takes place before Civil War. So him talking about that time he was a delivery officer, referencing presumably referencing
Tony Stank.
Yeah,
apparently him being I don't know. I feel like it's one of those moments where I'm like, no, that is the double down confirmation that Stan Lee is a Watcher and he can be all time. But only for this
universe. Stan Lee like a baby Watcher in the same way the Angel in It's a Wonderful Life hasn't gotten his wings yet?
Yes.
Like Stan Lee isn't able to like breathe in space and has a gigantic distended skull. Yeah. He still has a spacesuit, but he still is like existing through all of time and
great. Yeah. Because I was going to say, even if that continuity error exists, I just like to think of it as like, oh, well, this is just confirmation. Error. I just think of it as confirmation that Stan must have extra cosmic powers in the MCU.
That's because he's actually a baby Watcher.
My boy Uatu. Stan Lee becomes Uatu. And like he just turns into fucking Jeffrey Wright.
Stanley
but the idea for me, like the specific of like it's the 1-2 punch here and then post credits of the first one is and then there was this time I was a police delivery man. It's the braggadocious, maybe true, maybe not, like sort of like
hustler. That's why he's a baby. He's not like he's not
there's
he doesn't have that je ne sais quoi.
And there's that, and then there's the like very old-fashioned northeastern Jewish style humor in the post-credit scene of, hey, what are you doing leaving without me? Oh gee. Like that very like
my ride.
You stole my ride. Like that
you guys are my ride. What am I gonna do?
That's quintessential Stan for me. And like more than anything, more than him being the ladies' man in Guardians 1, more than him cutting Thor's hair in Ragnarok, more than anything, this is my favorite Stan Lee thing ever.
I think I agree with you. I love the Endgame post-credit scene, A, because it's his last.
Yeah.
But B, because of the "Nuff Said" bumper sticker. Like there's a very beautiful send-off for Stan.
Yeah.
In the last time we see him in one of these movies, it having his trademark "Nuff Said." attached
There's that,
to
and
it.
again, Spider-Verse, Into the Spider-Verse, him like talking to Miles about the suit at the very beginning of the movie.
Oh my god, yeah.
Really damn good. I still think this is the best.
I was punching the air when I saw that for the first time, and I was not well. But no, big agree on Stanley the Watcher. With that, I think that's all we have for Guardians 2. Eli, where can the lovely people find you, my friend?
Yeah, you can find me, my stuff's down here at ochifan327.bsky.social is my blue sky, and then the other thing is my Star Wars podcast, Star Wars in a Galaxy, resuming production in a few weeks. Once as of recording, I'm trying to think. This will probably come out, I think, probably January, like late January, probably for regular viewers, maybe February. Either way.
Just recently came out. If we're gonna fully break our kayfabe or whatever Jarod says.
Yeah.
I took him to say peek behind the curtain. I don't think there's much kayfabe to Road to Doomsday.
Yeah, but you get you get the general idea. We should be by the time still in
mid-January. This should be coming out on the 12th.
There's gonna be kayfabe. If we're not remaining to be number one, Road to Doomsday.
We are going to be, by the time this comes out, we are about to be embarking on our Star Wars and Galaxy. We're about to be embarking on the final stretch of Star Wars Rebels Season 4, starting with Heroes of Mandalore. And we've been discussing details about this. I think I can reveal this. We are going to be returning with our bracket streams on January 16th. We are having our first bracket stream of the year and in a while, with the winners from all previous bracket streams that we've been doing. Jacob, myself, your host right up here, Claire Chapman, and M will be discussing and debating our favorite Star Wars characters, period.
Oh my god, and I wasn't invited to talk about either Sebulba or General Grievous or Savage Opress.
So she just said 3 motherfuckers that she does not have a tattoo of.
Oh my god, I don't. Or Boba Fett.
Something tells me
Boba Fett, 4th string after, in order, Sebulba, Grievous, Savage Opress.
Something tells me, Taylor. Something tells me.
Fett.
Honestly,
something
I got
tells
that
me
tattoo before I got it in 2017.
I
the
know.
Same year
it's
this
just
movie
so funny you
out.
started in that fucking order.
Something
Holy
tells me
shit,
you'll have
what have I done to you?
Miss Taylor, something tells me you'll have a great
Incomprehensible
2026 with at least one of those characters.
Sebulba.
Hell yeah.
You gotta have her on one of the bracket streams because she will say some insane shit, and I
can't wait. I can't wait for Sebulba with his little like Fu Manchu mustache.
Yeah, I'll fucking do it. Anyway, so
I'm gonna actually get like I'm gonna get a giant Sebulba tattoo, like fully. I'm gonna ruin every tattoo I ever want to get on my actual body, and I'm just gonna get a giant Sebulba tattoo.
And
it's gonna be
the Sebulba tattoo will beat every other tattoo on your body because, as we know, Sebulba always wins. But yeah, anyway, yeah, you can find me everywhere. My link tree is lanktr.ee/_ochfan327 to find all my stuff. Star Wars and Galaxy, the bracket streams, and of course, Epic Conversations, my Star Wars trivia show, will be returning in 2026. Our first match. Look at this guy's always going into the stuff I create. First match. Jarod's new team, the Jedi Princes. I almost said Lords again. I was going to.
I'm so sad I don't have that name anymore. Can I be so for real? I had to come up with Jedi Princes on the fly. So this is fully breaking kayfabe. We are going fully. This is going fully into. This is a shoot. This is a shoot. This is so out of kayfabe. Michael was not sold on the idea of us teaming up until I hit him with. So my last team is called the Jedi Lords, which is a great title from Legends and is fucking awesome.
Yes, yes, it was.
Shouts out Lord Hoth. But I was like, what if we keep with the idea of like Jedi royalty, and because Michael loves those dog shit Jedi Prince novels, I was like, what if we call it the Jedi Princess? Straight up, I don't think Michael was joking at all. He was like, I wasn't gonna do it until you said that.
So, yeah, I'm actually speaking of that, I'm
So let
actually
you know how
I'm like
much synergy we have as teammates that I had to bribe him with a shitty Legends joke to become his
with a
teammate.
joke name. I'm looking at the match right now. It's almost done. And it's going to be happening in January, followed by another rematch. A 7-round title match this time between the current once defending champ, Alden the Iconoclast Diaz, and Brennan Mystical Mar. You got
Do you
so
mean my
cocky on that
best
Doctor
friend?
Strange episode, didn't you?
My
You were
best
so
friend,
sure
Brennan
he was going to
Marr.
lose it.
Did you listen to the Doctor Strange episode yet?
My best friend, Brennan
I
Marr, who's going to totally win.
I did. Yeah, I listened to the Doctor.
I
Brennan
wasn't
is
sure.
win
I didn't
because
remember. Listen, I don't know if I said it off air. I said it on Pro and Noob at least. I have just been saying it could go either way.
I
Mitch has been a prick about it. Eli, you don't watch Pro and Noob. He has been riding high on the fact that Mitch did predict that Alden would retain, and I'm mad about it. In fact, Alden, again, I'm going to put more dirt in the street here. I'm going to do more of a
if I
shoot.
can also just put less dirt in the street, it really just all you have to do is be nice to me.
I've been trying to scramble to pull up the Hulk Hogan quote: "When the work becomes a shoot, you shoot a work."
When you shoot yourself into a work, when you work yourself into a shoot. No, that's what I'm doing. Alden, I don't remember
I'm
if
the
he
opposite.
said it
I'm just
publicly
like,
or not.
yeah, just be nice to me and I'll love you forever.
But Alden made a joke where he was like, you could tell Mitch thought Alden was going to win from the way he edited the promo. Because Alden was like, he's like, Mitch is clearly an Alden mark. Alden said that. Alden said Mitch is an Alden
I was there
mark.
for that. I was
Okay, I
absolutely
couldn't
there for that.
remember. I
I
was
was
like,
there for
what an
that. Yeah.
insane fucking thing.
Yeah. No, I was absolutely there for that.
That
That
is
was
a
so
shoot.
for yourself.
But yeah, no. Really excited for a lot of stuff coming up in 2026.
So
Including because I don't know when the next time I'm going to be on the show is.
The next time we do Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
I don't know when that's going to be, and that's fine. My point is that I may have something to do
Things are gonna happen.
with this show even before or maybe after Guardians 3. And Jared, would you mind full screening me for a second?
Sure.
I have one simple question for you. Would you like to play a game?
I've seen these movies before.
Stay tuned. But yeah, go check out everything Eli does. In a Galaxy is such a fun, great show. Obviously, Epic Confrontations is a hoot and a holler. So go check out all of Eli's stuff. Will be in the description.
Mm-hmm.
Taylor, where can the lovely people find you, my dear?
Oh my god, the lovely people can find me at Blue Sky at Quicksilver Girl, GRRL Girl. And they can also find me on Luminous Odyssey from
Yeah. In a while.
a
All remaining systems.
All Remaining Systems Michael McCoy podcast and live RPG show. Yeah, I'll work on that. I'll work on that plug. I am Miraja Khalil. And I may or may not die by the next time I'm on there. I don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows? Me, super not, because
I don't think that episode's out, so don't spoil it for Eli.
So not, but like
I think Michael said he wanted to wait until 2026 to start putting
things are happening.
Last time I saw y'all were dagging Garrett business, and I cannot believe he.
So.
Hey, smart. Eli, you want a little teaser? You know this? What was the one thing I asked Michael during Ionized Bastards for between seasons?
You asked him to give you a lightsaber duel.
Yeah. I think Michael thought that Taylor and my interests align a little bit more than they actually do.
Yeah, I'm scared. suffer. I'm scared for myself.
All right.
But it's gonna be great, and we're all gonna have fun.
What in the Jesus Christ was that?
What? Yeah, that's actually me. What in the Jesus? Yeah. Yeah, we're all gonna have fun. That's Dashin. He's down on the fucking floor or something. As in Joe Organa, my king. Yeah. It's all gonna go great though, I'm sure. Everything's gonna be totally cool.
Yep.
So cool. Jared, where can the lovely people find you?
Jared, where?
Ah!
You're.
Don't you talk to me like that.
I love Eli. You have a habit of getting like right in a comedic timing pocket right at the end of shows you're on. I don't know if you've noticed you do that. You zero into a pocket in the last 10 minutes every fucking time.
Well, I did that last. I did the Jared Ware last time, so I felt like I had to do it again this time.
But you guys
Talk
can
to me
find
like that
me
in front of my own dad.
You guys can find me on Instagram and Blue Sky at Dark Jedi 2552.
I'll get my mom out later. Okay.
I am also with Babe. You gotta not do this. I'm begging you. You guys can find me.
I was so good for most of this episode until I grabbed my dad. But
also on limit. You mean in the first 20 minutes?
I was gonna say
of this 2-hour podcast. In the first 20 minutes, you did well for most of it before you brought your father's ashes on air with you.
That's a historical abyss.
That's a box.
Okay, I'm on Luminous Odyssey with Taylor. Shit's getting live. Go check that out on all remaining systems. Obviously, Epic Confrontations, Pro and Noob on the Midge 692 channel. We're getting back to our Attack on Titan coverage in the new year. So check that out.
I told Jared to cap episodes at like an hour and a half. And so once we get there, I get a little silly.
But yeah, so check all that stuff out. Next week is a very, very special episode, one that I'm very excited for.
Wait, I think I might know what it is, but if I'm wrong, tell me if I'm wrong. The
goat is home, baby! Next week on the road to Doomsday.
I just want to say, of course I'm not going to be on this episode. I cannot tell you the hype after seeing Peter's travel log for the first time and then immediately fading into the opening title with the
I said this before, and I don't mean this in a gatekeepy way, and I don't mean to little bro you. Yeah. As somebody who has I liked Spider-Man before I liked Star Wars as a kid. You don't fucking understand.
I liked X-Men before I liked anything as a kid.
How much Homecoming meant to me.
That's a lot. I liked
next week
before I liked anything.
Next week, here on the Road to Doomsday, we are talking Spider-Man Homecoming.
The one and only.
The one and only, except no substitute. But if you guys want to find the Nerd Academy podcast, we are on Instagram, Blue Sky, Facebook, YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts, and on our website, thenerdacademypodcast.com. If you're feeling generous, you can donate to our Patreon.
Yeah, if you want to be my best friend.
Speaking of Taylor's best friends and our $10 alumnus, thank you to Ray Clausen and Paco. $5 patrons get early access to every single episode of The Road to Doomsday, as well as exclusive access to our audio commentary series.
You guys can hear me hum, and you can hear all about my backstory. I talk to you guys probably more than I would talk to my own therapist if I had one. But I love you guys so much. It's honestly, my favorite thing to do.
Honestly, there's one I haven't been keeping up with the audio commentaries. I will say there's one I'm very excited when you guys get to, just because it is that kind of movie. I legitimately cannot wait for the No Way Home commentary.
Oh, I remember all too well Taylor Swift's 10-minute version. Don't worry, I'll sing it the whole movie.
So with that, sure
we'll get a copyright strike immediately. That woman's PR team is beyond belief.
Next week, like I said, Spider-Man Homecoming, very excited. for my goat to be in the MCU now.
My hometown hero,
Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton.
But
it's showtime, baby.
We will see you on the next steps on the road to Doomsday. Thank you for watching.
Bye-bye.
I did it again.
Stop! Move away from the cookie jar.
You see, if I had new Rockstar's money, they could edit that out and change it. But I'm not Eric Vaughn.